I'm Rachel Flavon, and I'm going to talk to you about the second part of our project, which is the demo application of the component, in addition to some project management stuff. Now, mesh networks actually lend themselves to a lot of different applications, and Zigbee specifically, being low power and low data rate, kind of narrows our scope a little bit. We came up with 3 pretty cool examples of a mesh network using the Zigbee protocol that could be easily done by a 4-node network, which is the constraint that we have from Cypress. So first and foremost, we have industrial monitoring and control. Now, what this involves is attaching these nodes to setting up these nodes to different parts in a factory or a plant, and they will collect data on their environment, and the user will ahead of time set what kind of boundaries they want that data to fall into. So if you want to keep your temperature at a certain level or your voltage to a certain range, you can do that. You can set that up ahead of time, and the sensors will be able to alert you when something's going wrong. So they can either send it back to the collection point and say, hey, something's wrong over here, please adjust my conditions. And alternatively, they can have a transducer that will actually fix the condition for them. That's where the control part comes in. So another really cool application, and my personal favorite, has to do with smart energy. And the Zigbee Alliance has, let me back up. Zigbee has a group of people getting together working on automating your world, is their basic slogan on their website if you go there. So with the Zigbee Alliance, what they're working toward is making everything that you interface with on a regular basis kind of work for you. It already knows what you want to do. You put in what you want on a daily basis as far as how hot you want your house to be, how bright you want it to be. And same idea with the industrial monitoring and control. These nodes placed throughout your house or embedded in your appliances treat your living environment in a systematic way. So instead of controlling everything on an individual basis, turn on your washer, make sure your refrigerator's on, that kind of stuff, it does it for you. And further, as the Zigbee Alliance is moving forward, they're focusing on working with utility companies to not only automate your home on your standards, but make it so that you can save energy and use your appliances more efficiently based on the load that the power company has on their plant on a given day. That's a pretty cool one that would be kind of shiny and interesting to make a little demonstration out of. Now, a third one involves we title it environmental and biological monitoring. Really, its biggest application has to do with psychology and that kind of stuff. So the idea behind that is that you would attach a node to a person or an animal, and you would measure, mind you, don't forget that these are nodes with radios on them, so they're not just sensing data, they're also communicating with each other. So you could attach nodes to a group of animals or a group of people, and you can objectively and quantitatively measure their interactions. So how often they talk to each other, how close they get to each other, that kind of stuff. And as opposed to a psychologist sitting behind a glass wall and watching what you do all day, you get something that's much more intimate and objective. So all that being said, we wanted to maximize our use of Cypress's equipment because that's ultimately the cheapest way to go. It'll save us money, and then it'll make them money when they go to show other people, hey, look what we can do with this component. So we came up with something that kind of incorporates both the industrial monitoring in the sense that they're going to be stationary nodes that are set up around a room, and they'll be sensing environmental conditions using this environmental sensing kit that Cypress provided to us. And that kit comes with a number of different sensors: humidity, air pressure, temperature, weather. And so whatever environment you're gonna place these chips in, you should be able to set how bright you want it to be, how cool do you want it to be. You want it to be 68 degrees, you want it to be, bright as the day, all the time, and it will stay this way. You know, the environment will sense that something has changed and adjust accordingly, kind of like homeostasis. So that being said, I'm going to talk about project management stuff now. Our project is fairly low risk just because a lot of our parameters were set for us and easy to follow. But there are a few things that could go wrong. So we wanted to make sure that we properly responded to those. So I'm sure any of you could experience a delay in shipping, which would result in your project being delayed. So yeah, it could happen, but we're prepared to deal with that. At this point, we're pretty sure we have all the equipment we're going to need. So, and we're right on schedule, so it's good. The use of the 900 megahertz band is risky because that's a public band. So there's potential that the information that we're sending out, granted, indoor Zigbee has it's 100 to 300 feet. So if somebody else is running experiments on that band, there's potential that the information we're sending could interfere with what they're doing. But it wouldn't be so much as they'll receive the packets and they'll be like, oh, my equipment's doing something else. I don't know what's going on. It would be more along the line of they're getting readings that they didn't expect. So it's I guess it's less of a risk to us than it is to other people. But if somebody came and said, hey, you're messing up our business, we probably have to move, which could be a problem. No, a problem that's actually, we feel like is kind of unique to our project is the fact that PSoC 3 and 5, when they were manufactured, had some errors in their specs. So you get a data sheet with whatever microprocessor you're buying, and you as the designer are expecting that product to actually follow those parameters. And that doesn't always happen, which I found out. I didn't know that before this project. So Cypress came to us up front and said, it doesn't actually work the way we said it was going to, but we published that, people know it, and we have the workarounds. So it could happen that we run into a problem that we're expecting the voltage to be a certain level or to sleep for 1 millisecond and it sleeps for 2, but they have the workarounds for it. So that's that. As far as our budget goes, we're real pleased to be able to report that we are $300 under budget because Cypress is really good to us and provided these $250 boards, 4 of them for free. So we have we had to pay for the radios and we had to pay for the adapter so that the radios could easily be put onto a proto board. But as you can see, we came in about $180, which leaves us some wiggle room in case something goes catastrophically wrong and we need to buy something at the last minute that Cypress can't ship us from San Diego overnight. So that's all I have for you.
Questions?
Questions from the class? Okay, that was a good talk. I don't have any questions. You really covered most of the technical stuff I was expecting to hear. I'm surprised to hear, though, that Cypress, that their 3 and 5, especially the 5 series, have these problems.
Yes, and that's the one that they actually have the most problems with. So they just kind of told us that, if there are problems, if you, witness anything, let us know, and we know how to deal with it.
So it's mostly in, so it wasn't really so much in the ARM core, because they just bought that, for
Right,
ARM.
right.
But the problems were more in the analog array, because they think the analog array was kind of significantly expanded in 5, and I don't think they just said they hadn't, maybe just thoroughly tested it. And, I think this is like the first run of the 5 chips, so I think there's going to be a second.
Yeah, they were debating up front whether you guys should use the 3 and 5.
Yeah.
So maybe that was why. I didn't know why that was an issue up front. Maybe this is
Yeah.
the reason behind it. Okay, good.